Look at this Internet Explorer ass hair flick. I cannot unsee it. I have always seen it as that stupid Internet Explorer circle around the E. Let's get on to ranking Pokemon. Victini. Oh god, Victini. So Victini is an event Pokemon, but he also had like some busted ass moves, so yeah, I've got no love for the Victini. Snivy is okay. Everyone was like hyping Snivy up because of the leaf. You know what I mean. Then you have... What the hell is Snivy's middle form? Servine. Jeez. Then you have Servine. Servine is just weird and forgettable. And then you have Superior. I like Superior. I tried using it. It was fun. I wouldn't say love, because Superior, like, don't actually know. Like, Coil Iron Tail was fun. Or Dragon Tail was fun. Tippig I like. Middle Stage Itis, I don't remember your name. Pignite. Like Ignite. And then you have Emboar. God. I wish I could like Emboar more. The problem is it's firefighting. We had Infernape. We didn't need another one. And he's slow. Like, honestly, if Emboar had been part ground, it would have done him a whole lot more. I don't know why they made him fighting type. But that's personal opinion. I like the design to a degree, but I probably wouldn't use Emboar ever again. Oshawott I feel indifferent about. And pretty much the same with Dewott. And then you have Samawat, which I don't like. I think this is a first. No, it's not a first. It was definitely the lowest ranked award starter. Friggin' brain just went Oshawott, Dewott, Samawat. I don't know why, I just don't like Samawatt's design. I can't get behind the quadruped. And then you have this swinging Oshawott, which is just Dark Water, which is like, yeah, it looks cooler, but it's still a quadruped. Why? Just so that you could have no feet, 2 feet, 4 feet. I don't see the reason. Particularly when it pulls sword and tries to swing sword. There was no reason to. Yeah, I don't like it. Drillbur and Excadrill. I like Excadrill's design. Drillbur is kind of whatever. But I've never used Excadrill. And part of that is because it became overused. It was incredibly popular because of how broken it was. Timepod. I like this design. But then you go Politoed. And then I want to say it's Seismitoad, Palpitoad, and then Seismitoad, and it goes downhill. So the motive is music. That's what it's supposed to be. But once you get to Palpitoad, it starts to disappear, that music motif. And then you get to Seismitoad, and it's like, where did it go? Where did the motif go? I used Seismitoad. It wasn't bad, but it's another water ground type. We've seen it before. We have Marshtomp. We have Wishcash. We have Gastrodon. You were like the 5th water ground type. And you ain't doing anything special other than being slow. Well, no, Gastrodon was slow. Most of them are slow and bulky, so you're not doing anything interesting other than you have sound-based moves. It's kind of a disappointment. Cortini is forgettable, God. It's like, forgettable tier. Your only saving grace is Whimsicott, which I would put in neutral. No, actually, I respect Whimsicott. So Whimsicott is a cotton spore. And if anyone remembers Black and White's metagame, Whimsicott was used in doubles a lot in the early stages because it would set up a Tailwind, and then it would use, I think it's Assist? No. It was some multi-hit dark move based on the number of party members that you had, and then would interact with one of the Sacred Swords, in particular this one here, to activate its Justified ability, so it gains an attack boost whenever it gets hit by a dark type move. So yeah, I will give Whimsicott respect. It also has like a slight sheep motif going on there, and I don't know, I have a soft spot for sheep. I don't know why, actually. I know that's Lilligant, but what's that? It starts with P. Patilli. Patilli is, again, it's meh. And Lilligant is like, it's also meh. Except now we have the Hisuian form. And the Hisuian form, I have to give respect to. It is a grass fighting type. Went from generic grass flower with dancing motif, which is like, yeah, their dime a dozen, to ballet with a fighting type bonus, and it's like, you finally found a way to make it interesting. I like it. I haven't used one yet, but I like it. I mean, I've used grass fighting before, but Sandile? I've forgotten your name, but your middle stage artist, and then Croconaw. Let me get that. Sandile, Croc, and Crocodile. So wait, that's Croconaw. Crocorock. And then Crocodile. Where the hell did I get Croconaw from? Oh well. I really like this guy. I've tried using one before, but it didn't work out all that great for me. But I would definitely, like, give him another go. Also, I named him Mr. Vile. There's your Banjo-Kazooie reference for the day. Next one is Maractus. And I want to double check, because I swear, every time, yes, Maractus is freaking grass type. It's plain grass type. But it has Sand Veil. It's the Cacturn problem all over again. There is no reason for you to exist. You know what? You belong in the worst section. You are offensive. We have Cacturn. We have Cacturn at home. This is what happens when you try to get rid of all the previous Pokemon and create a Pokedex with only new ones. You end up with junk like this. Scrafty and Scraggly. That's not right. Scraggly and Scrafty. I got it round the wrong way. Scraggly, I feel neutral to. Scrafty's grown on me over the years. It's dark fighting. Then we have Yamask. Yamask is kind of meh for me. Galarian is kind of the same. Cofagrigus. Cofagrigus I like. I like the idea. It's a shame that his ability is Curse Body, which, as we talked about earlier, is garbage. What's more, Cofagrigus can't pass Curse Body on its own because it has no contact moves. Also, Cofagrigus is hilarious as being one of the few Pokemon that you could not trade due to the swear filter. Because it has FAG in its name. That's right! They named a Pokemon that you couldn't trade. You have to name it in order to be able to trade it, at least in black and white. I think they've fixed it. Actually, we should be able to go to the trivia on Cofagrigus and check that. Wikipedia, please! We're doing trivia! Previously, due to the censors that prevented Pokemon with offensive nicknames being traded on the GTSC, the English language Cofagrigus cannot be traded without a nickname in Generation 5. However, the filter has since been altered to allow Cofagrigus to trade without a nickname. There you go. I believe there are other Pokemon that are affected by it, but Cofagrigus is the English version of it. I don't know if there were any other censored words Gen 5 yet. I don't know if there were any other Pokemon that followed that same issue. Now we get to the one that a lot of people used to, really hate on. Trubbish. It's a garbage bag. I do not mind it. Garbodor. Garbodor has actually grown on me over the years. Mega Garbodor is a plus because it has a bunch of, plastic toys shoved in it. And I feel like Garbodor, if it had taken more from its Mega, it could have been a good design, but I feel like that is a little overkill. But it's grown on me. It's definitely not perfect, but it has grown on me. It's a shame that they're pure poison. If it had any other part, if it was poison ground for, landfill, or poison dart, it would have been more interesting. It's a shame. But it's not as bad as a design as people said at the time. At least in my opinion. Zoroark! Zoroark's alright. Then you have a Alolan Zoroark. Hisuian Zoroark. Hisuian Zoroark's alright. Zoroark. Zoroark, I love the design of. I'm a sucker for red-black motifs, as you may have guessed. And, like, the whole imposter thing is funny, but Team Preview kind of makes imposter pointless. But I like them on nonetheless. And yes, Zoroark was Gen 5's attempt to do another Lucario. The thing is that Lucario got a lot more love. Zoroark's love kind of died off. But I still like it. And then you have Hisuian Zoroark, which I have to put in faves because he was the MVP of the Volo Giratina fight. Gauntlet. And I love, like, the ethereal hairs that they're going for with the ghost motif. Also, normal ghost is a unique type. Gotta give it that. Recumulus? God, it is so hard to remember some of these names now. Solus, Dulos, Recumulus. Solus is like... I get what they were going for. I really don't think it needed to exist. Dulos is fine. Then you have Recumulus. Because Solus is so far into the game, I've never used Recumulus. It is a pure psychic type, but it looks like fun. I mean, it's like, it's a cell thing. That's what the motif is going for. But I like it. It's a shame that it's like, it doesn't have, I don't believe it has poison moves. Not new window. God dang it. So it's got Overcoat, Magic Card, Regenerator. For those who don't know, Magic Guard reflect bounces back like traps, so like spikes and toxic spikes and that. Overcoat, I forget. Regenerator, you heal whenever you switch out of battle. Protects a Pokemon from taking damage from weather. Okay, that's it. Like, its moveset isn't bad, if I remember correctly. Yeah, mostly so. It gets Hammer Arm now? Why? It doesn't have the stats to use it. Well, yeah, let's see. It gets a couple of Dark, some Electric, one Fairy move, a couple of Fighting, some Ghost moves, which is not uncommon for Psychic types. Bunch of Normal, a lot of Psychic. Yeah. Doesn't really learn like much in the way of poison moves, and it doesn't actually lean into the cell motif as much as I thought. I still love the design. It's fun. And Recumulus basically became this era's version of Alakazam. It's a good alternative. I mean, Alakazam does things differently, but it's a good alternative. I know some people like them. I cannot get over food Pokemon. Kabite and Aegislash? Have I got that right? Yep, Carablast and Excalibur. Carablast is like, whatever. I don't like it. Excalibur I do like. Again, it's another Bug Steel. It's not great. It has a huge attack stat, but that's about all it has going for it. Though it is a nice design. I will say that. Joltik. Joltik is a cute boy. He is precious. And then you have Galvantula. Respect to this spider. Like, it's a shame that I can't bring myself to put him up into favorite, because he is kind of mediocre and weak. But you know what? It's my list. Ferroseed and Ferrothorn, if I remember correctly. Yep, Ferroseed and Ferrothorn. Ferroseed I like. It's kind of plain, but I like it. Then you have Ferrothorn. I really like Ferrothorn. I don't love, because honestly, like, its hanging motif only existed in black and white. And then when it went to 3D, because it doesn't float like Carvana, those things that it used to hang onto the ceiling are now its feet. Nighthally. So yeah, I like him. I probably like him more if he still is able to hang from the ceiling, but yeah. He is not flying. He is ground. He's grass steel. And I like him. Okay, so I've talked about how I like machinery and mechanics and darkness and all that. I don't like Clink or Kling Clang, and Clink, I don't like Clang, and I really don't like Kling Clang. It's not the names, it's just how bland the design is. Like, I can think of ways to do gears more interesting, but they're just generic steel types. They're not even steel electric or anything. They're just plain steel type gears. And they really don't do anything. Like, you could have gone for like, oh, it's a clock or something to like tie into like the seasons and changing time motif that the game has. Or anything, but no, Clink, Clang, and Kling Clang are boring and are very hard on the tongue. Litwick! Litwick is alike. Lantern. That's not what its name is. It's kind of the mid stage. It's Lampent. Then you have Chandelure. Chandelure is my go-to fire type whenever it's available. It is ghost fire, and I really like it. Golett is fine. Golurk, I like the design of, I've never actually used. It's Ground Ghost. It wishes it was fighting. It does have Iron Fist, which is, you know, a trade-off, but it's whatever. Bishop, similar, it's inoffensive. Oh. Poniard. Inoffensive. Bishop, I like, but he is incredibly weak, so I've never used Bishop before. Duriat, on the other hand, is the worst. There's no reason for it to exist. It is so late in the game, it is so forgettable, it is a bland design, and you wasted ants. A steel ant for the alternative, for the counterpart to a fire anteater. Couldn't you have come up with anything more interesting? Also, it's like another bug steal. We haven't seen that before. Dino Hydration. I know that's not right. Dino Zwireless and Hydration. Dino is kind of inoffensive. I don't care one way or the other. It's very generic. Dwalzo, I get what it's going for, but I don't like it. It just looks silly. And then you have Hydration. Hydration I like. I respect. I've never used it. It's Dark Dragon. It's not that good anymore with fairies running around. But it was busted when it came out because it had access to it had access to electric, dark, fire. Like, it was very hard to counter. Then you have Why Do You Exist? And I'm forgetting the name. La Vestia and Volcarona. I think La Vestia exists solely so that Volcarona isn't busted because it's such a late evolution, but it's like, you can't find this until the post-game, so why? Like, I will say Volcarona is pretty inoffensive. I don't mind it. It's a decent bug Pokemon, which honestly bug needed. Then you got the Stords. I don't mind as much. I don't like either of these two, though. And I'm going to put the Jin's ultimate forms down here, just to make things simpler. But then you have Tornadus, Thunderous, and Landorus. Why? Roaming, Trio, Pain in the Neck. I wish they didn't exist. Then we have Reshiram and Zekrom. You're forced to catch them. You have to do the fight over if you don't catch them. I hate that. Beyond that, they're like not overly designed as some things, like Kyurem here, which is like, why do you exist? And then we won't rank Kyurem White and Kyurem Black because they're fusions. I mean, they are different forms of Kyurem, technically. But not getting into that. Then we have the last of the Sacred Swords. Why do you exist? Well, we won't go over both of Mel or Brain. So what's Keldeo? Reshiram and Zekrom I got right. So the one I didn't mind was Colbion. Then we have Thrakion and Viserion. And then we have Melloetta. Melloetta, I don't actually hate the design of. Which is rare for, like, legendaries. It's okay. I wouldn't use it. I wouldn't go out of my way to catch it, but it's okay. Though its dance form is kind of meh, which is why its sing form is considered the generic, or the base. And here we have Genesect, and its freaking forms because it has different discs, because of course we needed more forms. Here's the thing, I don't hate Genesect's design, but I hate the mechanic. Honestly, if it wasn't a legendary, if it was a regular Pokemon, if it didn't have the whole mechanic, I might like it. But the disc mechanic, the fact it's a legendary, it annoys me. And that is Gen 5 done. God, that was a lot more negative. I mean, a few more favorites turned up. I had a lot more Pokemon that I thought very highly of, like the A and S rank. But my god, a lot of D, plenty of E, and a lot more F rank than any other generation so far. So I would call this probably one of my more divisive generations.